To God, yep, hallelujah. This is Dore Love, and these are my thoughts. So, in the book of Ezekiel, right, it talks about Lucifer, how he was perfect in all his ways until iniquity was found in him. You know, I'm under the impression that everybody has a relationship with God, because he created everybody, because everyone is made in his image. So we rather have a healthy relationship with God or an unhealthy relationship with God. You rather have a hellish relationship with God or a heavenly relationship with God. So I got to thinking, I wonder what type of understanding God and Satan have. What kind of understanding God and Satan have. And so one day what happened, I was reading Ezekiel, and I got to thinking that the angels have free will. So if the angels have free will, well, who tested the angels? You know, the serpent was in the garden, and you know, Eve and Adam made the wrong choice, and that's led to the fall of man. But the angels fell too. So I got to thinking, what if it was the devil's job to tempt the angels? What if that's what his job? His job was to tempt the angels and to separate the weak from the strong. And then he was so good at his job that a third of the angels fell. And he was so good at his job that a third of the angels fell that he thought he could be God. He's like, well, look, if I'm in heaven and I can get a third of God's people, a third of the angels to follow me, well, what do I need God for? I'll just take over all of heaven. And then he got kicked out, and he got cast down to earth. The same thing happened to Adam and Eve. The devil tempted Adam and Eve. They fell, and they got cast out. However, we see in the book of Genesis that God had a conversation with Adam and Eve before he cast them out. So imagine, I always think that God, my thoughts again, I always think that God had a conversation with the devil. And the devil was like, you know what, God? If you cast me down to earth and earth becomes mine, I'm going to take everything that you created, all your human beings, everything that was created in your image, and I'm going to make them hate you. Matter of fact, if you put them in my world, they're going to hate you. Not only are they going to hate you, they're going to love other things more than you. I'm going to make them love silly things like money. I'm going to make them worship rocks. I'm going to make them worship everything that you created. I'm going to make them, matter of fact, they're going to forget about you, God. And God, all knowing, all powerful, knows everything, says, you think so? You think so? Well, now, Satan, you are the God of this world. Have at it. And so Satan said, okay. And he went to work, right? And he went to work, and then he went to work, right? But before he went to work, I can envision the Lord saying to him, Satan, not only will my people not serve you, they will hate you and everything you represent. They will hate the pleasures that you have to offer. They will hate the world that you have created. Not only will they hate everything about you and everything that you represent, they would prefer to die than to be in the world in which you're the governor of. And as time proceeded, as a process of time, in the process of time, and as the apostles began to die for God, missionaries began to die for God, evangelists, bishops, and prophets began to die for God. And not only die for God, they were willing to get tortured for God, thrown to the lions for God, crucified upside down for God, ridiculed and mocked for God. And they did this in gladness and in joy. And that gladness and joy made the devil angry. The more they rejoiced in a fallen world, the more God's people were willing to die just to get out of this fallen world. The more God's people began to call on the name of the Lord in this fallen world, proving that God was right and the devil was again wrong. The devil got upset. He got so upset that he created Islam. And he said, I will create a group of people that will die for me too. And these are my thoughts.